Hi, my name is Dennis Bailey. I'm excited to be here with you as your instructor in this course called Transdisciplinary Leadership. We will be discussing three essential leadership foundations and pillars for an effective ministry in transcultural setting, especially with the indigenous people. I hope you to take the time over the next couple minutes to go over our learning objectives and the outline structure of our course. As you have already read the devotional for the first part of our lesson, you may have already read Acts chapter 2, verses 42 and to 47. And as you read the text, you will notice that there are four basic elements for the first church that started. That is, that they dedicated themselves to the teaching of the disciples, the apostle. They were in fellowship, breaking bread, and in constant prayer. My prayer is that you learn and grow through this course as you journey together with me, as you journey into the story and the history and what I have learned and discovered as working with transcultural people. I am a third generation missionary, a second generation missionary kid. I grew up in a tribe until I was 27. I was there for 5 years as a local missionary together with my wife. We today have a children's ministry that we oversee as we work with volunteers to be able to do this ministry all across Brazil. Over the course of 15 years, I've worked directly and indirectly with over 5,000 volunteers, and the constant repetition, we have learned and discovered techniques that work and that don't work. So my hope and desire is to be able to impart and to share the learning experiences that I have learned, and that you become an effective person that can get your church involved and to be able to get involved with the indigenous people in ministry. Have you ever seen a volunteer create more problems than it solves? We all know that working with people is challenging and can present interesting aspects of dynamics. So my hope is that you don't have to commit the same mistakes that I have committed, and to be able to walk with you in this journey. Also, I don't know what format or platform you'll be using, if it's an in-person local setting or if you will be using an online model of the course. But if you're using a PDF, I'd like you to take a moment to introduce yourself in your group in the first week together, where you're from, what church you're from, and how you learned about this course. If you're doing an online course, we will be meeting in the next couple of weeks together online in a synchronous setting where we will be able to get to know you and exchange of this experience. Third wave outreach is a term coined by a Christian indigenous organization in Brazil, referring to the indigenous reaching their own people with the gospel of Jesus Christ. They know the language, they know the culture, and so it's important and vital that the indigenous people know and understand that the calling and commission isn't restricted just to the Western church, but it's for the whole church. The second wave are the nationalists, who are Brazilians in this setting that are part of the calling and the commission of Jesus Christ. So the first wave are foreigners that are not from the country, that leave their country, their homeland, just like Abraham left his land, his country, his culture, and he went to a new land. We work with the acronym BRIDGE, BRIDGE. It stands for Building Relationship with Indigenous Disciples, Global Evangelism. We also know that over the equator line, along the equator line, there are over 2,100 unreached tribes that have never heard of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and Jesus' own words, the end will not come until everyone has heard. There's a lot of work to do, and it's after 2,000 years we still have the challenge, and we find that even though we're in such advanced technology, and there are still a lot of work to be done. So why can't we take the technology and the tools and resources to the people where they are in remote location? So our ministry is a remote ministry where we take teaching, training, and the know-how to people to where they are at. The statistic says that missionaries from the first wave, in 10 years, 50% return back to their passport country. And if you understand that it takes 4 years of training, and sometimes for support reasons, 4 more years to learn the national language, and then another 4 or more years for people to actually learn the tribal dialect to whom they are wanting to reach. So transcultural ministry is a very broad, very wide topic, and it's very challenging. And so the intent of this course is to hope that we can take this content and knowledge to people to where they are independent, if they're in the US or if they're in other parts of the world. As long as they have access to the internet or access to the material, they can do this course together, and we can walk the journey to be able to strengthen the indigenous church and to help bridge the gap between the reality of where the Western church is and the indigenous church, and bringing that down so that it's more accessible, the two worlds, so that we can progress and grow together as the Lord has intended us to grow. I have my bachelor's degree in Christian leadership. I'm a certified mental health coach, a licensed chaplain. Also, I'm president of Third Wave Outreach, which is sponsoring this course. And together, me and my family, we work with the indigenous in Brazil. There's a man that said once that the Native Americans of North America are like a sleeping giant, waiting to be awakened, to be the next revivalist to reach North America for Christ. I take those words and I apply it to the global context. The indigenous of the world are like a sleeping giant, waiting to be awakened, to be the next greatest evangelist to reach the world for Christ. So it's a challenging field, and I hope that you can grow and have an open heart to hear and be a part of the discussions and this course, and to be willing to allow the Lord to work in your life as you come to understand the depth and the challenges of going to the ends of the earth. So the gospel started in Jerusalem, Samaria and Judea, and then to the rest of the world, to the ends of the world. At the ends of the world, there's still a lot to do. So as you read in Acts, there's 3 things that bring people together: language, food, and experiences. Language, you can understand each other, or you can speak the same language but not understand each other. And you can not speak the same language and understand each other. Experiences bring people together. It also can repel people. And food is something that when we sit down to eat, it just brings people in a more intimate relationship. And I hope that as we learn and grow together in relationship, that we have that opportunity to meet and connect with people in different locations, in different settings, through the sharing and the breaking of bread and prayer. The course is going to be 6 weeks long. I hope you stay to the end, participate in all the live activity and in engagement. God bless you, and I'm excited to start this course with you. See you in the next videos.